Hello, everybody. Welcome to my women's basketball rantings. This is where I give my thoughts about the happenings in the women's game. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below. I put episode notes down in case you want to skip to any section that interests you. If you're still listening, welcome. If you're not, welcome. Let's get started. Today, I'm talking about the NCAA conference tournament and, of course, the championship games. It was crazy. It was just everything you'd expect from March. It was upset galore. And I did my predictions about it last week. And, of course, half of what I predicted were just blown to the dust. So I just want to talk about it, my thoughts, my opinions, my rants, and follow along. Let's see what went down this week in March. So I'm starting with ACC conference. It was an upset galore. First time Miami, I had no idea who Miami was. I always only follow teams that, popular teams, if you want to say that. Miami, I had no idea. They just came from nowhere, in my opinion, and they beat Louisville. Oh my God. Louisville. I thought Louisville was going to at least have a shot with NC State. And hey, who knows? They could definitely pull it off, because I do believe Louisville is a very good team this year. And I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, Miami went on a 15-0 run and won the game. Oh my God. Jeff was saying that he was trying to rest some legs, and because of that, their intensity was a bit low in the fourth quarter. I was like, I tried to rest some legs because, of course, you wanted to play in the quarter, in the semifinals and the finals, and you end up not playing at all. So it was just very funny. Destiny Walker, I think that's her name. She was crazy. In that fourth quarter, she went on a 15-0 run by herself and ended up winning the game on a buzzer beater. It was crazy. So they outshot Louisville 23-7 in that fourth quarter. This is a team that would compete for the championship. Is this how you people want to play? Is this how you want to start the match? I mean, come on now. Oh, this is just not what we expect from a team like Louisville. Moving on, Miami upset Notre Dame. I wasn't really surprised, because Notre Dame, even though they do have some good players, but I don't think they are there yet. They kind of remind me of a team that is still young, trying to figure themselves out. Sometimes they'll play good, sometimes they'll play bad. So they kind of remind me of that kind of team that are kind of still figuring themselves out, like in a down year, but they have some good pieces. So I really was surprised that Miami upset them. But then NC State handled business. I mean, that is how you know a team. Who are you guys? You guys are Cinderella story. Come here, we finish you, we move. That's exactly what I expected. And that's what NC State does. It wasn't even a context. It was like, you couldn't even, they couldn't hang. And that's exactly what we expect from top teams. And do your business. I was very impressed with NC State. They didn't even no room for, can they, would they? No, they can't. And they didn't. Keep it up. I look forward to seeing what you guys do in March. Although at the end of that championship game, I think Kunin got hurt, but she did come back into the game. But I don't know the status. I hope she's fine, because without her, nothing's happening in NC State. Let's just tell you that. All right, moving on to the Big 12. Apparently, I haven't played theirs yet, so I don't understand why Baylor has not played yet. But Baylor is right now on a 10-game win streak, so let's see how it goes. All right, so I'll go to the biggest. This was pretty straightforward. UConn was supposed to win. UConn won in pretty convincing fashion. So UConn played Georgetown. They demolished Georgetown. I think it was like a 40-point victory. They did not demolish Marquette. It was 20 points, but they definitely played. I wasn't really impressed with the Marquette game. I felt they still have a lot of things that they would really, really need to work on. And Marquette really gave it all they had. And the game was very choppy. But I think what made UConn really, really successful in that game was that they started with a very big lead. And I think they should keep it up with that. Because if you start with so much intensity, the game was over in the first quarter. Look at it, 22-6, 17-12. It was over. I mean, by that first quarter, you just knew that they just couldn't come back. And they did try. They really, really, in fact, they outscored UConn in the fourth. I could see that in that fourth quarter, UConn was just all over the place. They weren't really consistent. They weren't really, you could see that their effort had died down a little bit, so they were making a lot of funny mistakes, but they definitely took care of business. I was very impressed with them. Some of them, not all of them. Paige Beckers scored 16 in the Georgetown game, but she couldn't score. She scored only 2 points in this game and playing 18 minutes. So I don't think she's there yet. I think she's still, you could see that confidence is not there. She's still shaky. She's not the Paige that we know. So I think she really needs to work on whatever it is she needs to work on, but she's definitely not helping her team right now, like, be better. Like, the team is already really, really good, which is the good thing about UConn. They're already really, really good right now. So Paige coming in, being the Paige we know, even at 80% right now, I still think she will still make a difference, but she really needs to find out where she needs to be, because I don't think they were playing better with her. I think it was just there, like, nothing really great about it. AZ Ford also did not have a good game. Most of them really didn't have the greatest of games. But I don't know how they came and got a 20-point lead, honestly. I don't know. I think it was that first quarter, because Chrissy Williams was shooting lights out. I think she got like 5 of 5 from the field at this game. Or was it the Marquette? At a game, she was 5 of 5 for the field at that first quarter. She was killing it. Chrissy Williams was just really, really good in this tournament. Honestly, I was very impressed with her. I've always been very hard on Chrissy Williams. Everybody knows that. But this tournament, she really, really helped, and you could see that UConn had a really balanced attack. Three of them in double figures. So it was just I liked it. Like, you could see that it wasn't the smoothest of games, but nothing jumps at you. Oh, someone went for 100 points, and nobody really killed it like that, and they still gave their team the 20-point victory, although it's Marquette. But Marquette is also a very good team. So I'm very impressed with UConn. I think I loved what they did in this tournament, and I really like the way they handled Villanova. Villanova, everybody was thinking, can Villanova, and this is how I like teams to behave. Don't give them a choice. Kill them. Like Subed always says, remove the hope. So Villanova was going to, at least, of course, people thought UConn was going to win, but maybe Villanova was going to make it a little bit competitive if the game was over, like at the half, as UConn is always wants to do. They did try for the first quarter, but by the second and third quarter, it was just, you just couldn't hang. 8 points, come on. Like, this is how I like teams to be treated. Like, don't let them hang. You don't give them a chance. Come in, deal with it, move on, and let everybody be happy. So I was very happy with the way that you came out in this Villanova game. If you notice also, it's a balanced attack, 12, 11, 9, 9. This is what is going to make UConn a very, very dangerous opponent in March. The fact that nobody is going to score 100 points. Most teams, they have someone that goes for 25 points, someone that, Caitlin Clark, 41 points. In UConn, all of them can score, and they can score. So if you decide, okay, you know what, today I'm going to but AZ Ford cannot get anything on me, or Chrissy Williams cannot get anything on me. You have Evina Westbrook there, you have Aliyah Edward, you have left you have even Paige Beckers, if she comes in, you have Caroline Duchamp. Anybody of them can go off. Like, they can go off at any time. And so in this game, I'm sure everybody just decided, everybody was just scoring when they needed to score, scoring cheap. Next thing you know, you've got a 30-point victory on your hands. That's how you win. So I'm really, really optimistic about the UConn. I hope they don't disappoint me. I was very impressed with them. Apart from that Marquette game, this game, I was very, very impressed with them. It was just perfect. It was a really perfect game, honestly. I think that's all I can say. So UConn, I'm very happy for you. Keep it up. Keep doing whatever you're doing. All right, let's move on to the Big Ten Conference. Michigan, I was very disappointed. I really did think, although Michigan has been, I don't think, have they been on a downward spiral? They've lost 2 games. They lost to Nebraska. Really? Michigan lost to Nebraska in this tournament. That's how crazy these things have been. Nebraska. Sorry, I mean, I have nothing against Nebraska. But come on, Michigan, come on. You are supposed to be a top 5 team. Who is Nebraska? Are they even ranked? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know who they are. And you lose to that. Oh, man. Anyway, so that was the once Michigan lost, because I was thinking a Michigan-Iowa situation. Next thing you know, Iowa is playing Indiana for the championship. And of course, Iowa was going to win. I mean, it's Caitlin Clark. Like I always say, Captain Clark, if she decides to turn it on, she can make any team that doesn't really have a good defense crazy. I think she went for okay, she went for 18 points, but Monica Sinano went for 30. So both of them is like a really good tandem. Iowa is getting dangerous at the right time. Watch out for Iowa. They can make some noise. Iowa, they are quietly becoming a good team. Like forget Kathleen Clark. Like they really split to their strengths. So I was impressed. I was happy that Iowa won. Honestly, I don't love Iowa, but I like Clayton Clark, and because of that, I like Iowa. I like watching them play just to see Clayton Clark in action. So we move on to Pac-12. Arizona. I did not expect Arizona to get upset by Colorado. These are the things. This I don't understand. Arizona, what happened? Why? I did not expect Oregon to get upset by Utah. Not that Oregon has not really been the best of teams anyway. So whatever. I mean, after, I don't know. They started well. They started bad. They became good. They hung with Stanford. So I thought maybe they were getting better, and then they lost to Utah. No offense to Utah, but I really don't know you too. But that's how it went down. All right, so then we ended up with a Stanford Utah. It was a good game. Of course, I expected Stanford to win that game. I mean, you are a number two. You are one of the top four teams for a reason. Utah tried to hang for 3 quarters. Stanford just clamped on them, and that's how a good team is supposed to play. You can hang, of course, everybody will give you the best shot, but at the end of the day, you're number 14 for a reason. So they played, they hung, they tried, but of course, Stanford was going to definitely get the better of that match up. It was just a very good overall effort from Stanford in total. I was very impressed with the way they came out. They kind of remind me of the way UConn 2 came out, like shut this down, no hope. All right, now we move on to the most important one, which was the SEC. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the SEC for a minute. You know, I've always said that SEC is one of the best conferences because they have some of the toughest, best teams in the nation. They really do have one of the best team lineup in the nation, no doubt about it. Like these are teams that are really good basketball teams. So I can understand why it's a very tough conference to play in. Yes, it is a tough conference. But I cannot understand why South Carolina lost that game. South Carolina had no business losing that game. I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't care there's no excuse, zero excuse. That type of things I'm very hard on UConn, because if UConn had done something like that, let's say a Villanova situation now, if UConn had lost to Villanova, I would have killed them. They had no business losing this game to Kentucky. No business. This just shows, I always say it, you can win the regular season, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Go on a 100-game win streak, nobody cares. Do you know what people care about? Championships. You know what people care about? You getting that trophy. You know what people care about? When your back is against the wall, how do you come back and win that game? That is what people care about. Not, you are the best team in the nation, you're the number one seed. Nobody cares. Okay, some people care about, you get number one seed in the tournament. Nobody cares. But when you get that number one seed, what do you do with it? Do you choke like South Carolina did? Which is exactly what they did. Nobody can tell me otherwise. They choked in that tournament. Because you're talking about, you guys had a clear path to do a sweep. Let's talk about it. They could have done a sweep. So let's see. Number one, they could have gone undefeated. That let's not talk about it. They could have gone on to, but then they had a mental lapse with Missouri. That's fine. It's okay. So it's fine. So since, of course, they had only one loss, so it was only natural that they were going to get the regular season championships. Tick 1, goal 1 achieved. Goal 2, SEC conference. That was a goal. Everybody knew that was the goal. Eyes on the prize. It was yours to lose, and you lost it. I just can't believe it. This is why people always compare South Carolina to UConn. I try not to get into that battle because, I mean, of course, everybody everybody loves their team, so you will definitely only see the best in your team. But please stop comparing South Carolina to UConn. South Carolina is not UConn. They can never be UConn until they get their shit together. When UConn, right now, UConn is definitely not at the top of the basketball pyramid. Right now, it's okay. It's fine. Everybody, there are peaks and flows. But one can argue that South Carolina right now is at the top of the basketball pyramid, the way UConn was. You can't argue. You can't compare the two teams. When UConn was at the top, they don't do this type of things. They just don't do this type of things. They went on a how many game win streak? I don't even know, like 100 games, no, 100 and something game win streak. Do you know how hard that is to do that? Even if you have the best player, which South Carolina claims to have, South Carolina is the best, they would beat you from different angles. They can go strong, they can go long, they can go high, they can go low, they can go big, they can go small, they can do this, they can do that. Yes, so you guys want to wear the crown, and you want to wear the crown. We gave you the crown. Everybody said, oh, South Carolina is the best team in the country, but you cannot do this and claim to be the best team in the country. You can't compare yourself to a UConn program that when they were at the top, they were at the top. Nobody could even smell it. Like when they came to a championship against a Kentucky, no offense, I know you guys were on a winning streak. You guys were short, which is good. But if UConn had met a Kentucky, I mean, when UConn was at the top, let's say when UConn was the number one team in the country, when they were going under their crazy win streak, they would have demolished Kentucky in the first quarter. Let's not even go there. Maybe second, maybe third. But that fourth quarter, there was no way they would not have won that game. I'm just saying. So please, South Carolina, before you start talking and start saying, oh, we are the best team in the country, we are now the king, we are now the queen of, we are now the pinnacle of basketball, please, fix this type of things. It's not right. You lost to Missouri, we understood that, but this is unacceptable for a team that claims to be on one of the best in the country. Of course, people are still going to give them the crown. I understand that, but I do not expect this. This is wrong. I'm sorry, South Carolina. Get your shit together. Your fans, instead of talking about other programs, please try to get your program to a level where they don't do this type of things. Honestly. They might still win the championship. I have no problem with that. In fact, they should win the championship. But I'm just saying you can't compare yourself to a UConn when you do this type of things. You will win the championship. Just because you're a top team doesn't necessarily mean you are a good, great program that is going to like be the next UConn. You can't be the next UConn playing like this. That's all I have to say. So please, South Carolina, get your shit together. I really hope you win that championship, because that would be a redemption. Because if you lose the championship, it's just going to be a disaster. A disaster. I don't care if you went undefeated. It doesn't matter if you had only 2 losses in a season. Just win that championship, because that's the only way you're going to like have anything to say right now. Sorry for being too harsh, but I was just really, really disappointed. I know Kentucky was supposed to be like hot. Yeah, it's fine. Any team can be hot. I mean, Villanova was hot. Utah was hot. A lot of hot teams right now. Miami was hot. NC State handled them. I mean, you don't, even if, funny enough, forget it. It's not even by losing. Anybody can lose. But it's like how they lost. They had a 15-point lead at the beginning of the fourth quarter. 15 points, number one team in the country. And they lost the game. Think about it. They held a number one team that is supposed to be one of the best, that's supposed to be the next UConn in court, to 7 points in one quarter. And this is exactly the same thing they were fighting with UConn for during the Battle of the Atlantic, because they said, oh, the UConn was held to only 3 points in a quarter. It's fine. Everybody accepted it. UConn had a bad game. UConn was playing badly. They were too dependent on Paige. We took the lessons and moved on. So please take whatever lessons needs to be taken, and please play better coming in March. I hope this, like people say, to be a fuel for them to win the championship. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win that championship. It's anybody's game, honestly. Anybody's game. Any team can win. This is March. Any team can win. So please bring it. Bring it. I'm so excited for March. Bring it on. Bring on the madness. I'm going to be filling my bracket predictions, my official bracket online once it comes out. So tune in for that. And now to my final 4 predictions. I'm still going to put South Carolina for the Final Four. Forget my rant. They are still a good team, but they are a good team, but they are not a great team. I think that's the definition. They're a really good team, but they're not a great team. A great team would not lose to Kentucky. So I'll leave South Carolina there. I would leave Stanford there also, and I would leave. I'm not going. I don't think NC State is going to win that chance. It's going to be in the Final Four. I don't think so. I think I'm crashing out. I like NC State. I don't. People think I don't like NC State. I like NC State. I just don't feel their style of play is great like that. It's like the style of play of South Carolina. They are too defense oriented. So, but let's put South Carolina. I mean, defense can help you go far, but NC State, I don't think their offense and their defense really flows. So I'm going to leave them out. I'm going to take South Carolina, Stanford, as always. I'm going to put a UConn. I do believe UConn is going to get to that Final Four, and because every team deserves their flowers, I'm going to put Kentucky because they do deserve their flowers for upsetting South Carolina. Who knows? They might just upset quite a few teams in that Final Four. So let's see. I can't wait for the brackets to come out. This is March. Thanks for watching. See you next time.